Hey everyone, Sherry here with another card for you today, and I'm going to be using the Fawn Year 6 stamp set, the Ocean Wave border dies, the Simon Says Stamp Stitch circle dies, and I also use the Simon Says Stamp rectangle dies. So I have a piece of watercolor paper here and a piece of masking paper, which I removed a hole from the masking paper, and then I took the hole cut out and used the border dies as well as the circle die to cut a few shapes from it. Now I'm taking the little clam and I am stamping that on some masking paper, and I'm going to fussy cut that out as well. And that's going to be my little mask uh, to go inside my little circle. So now I'm going to get the mask down, and then I'm going to attempt to paper piece the little circle back. I'm doing half of it because I want to draw myself a line so I can put my little clamshell exactly where I want him in my Misty, and then cover him up. I'm going to be doing some very little, some simple Copic coloring of the shell itself. So I'm getting that stamped up, and I'm going to erase my pencil marks here, and then I'm going to mask off the little clam. And now I'm going to attempt to put my pieces back in. And this will just allow me to mask off the various areas that I want to put color in. And I'm sure there's probably an easier way to do this, but this is what came to mind, so I went with it. So I'm starting out here with a little bit of tumbled glass. I'm going to get my sky area done. And I really struggle with the um, ink blending. I do much better with watercolor, but I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep trying. So now I'm going to bring in a little bit of squeezed lemonade. I'm going to make this scene look somewhat like sunset, I guess you could say. Being careful not to mix my yellow too much in my blue and turn it green. And I'm going to come in with just a little bit more color into that sky area. And then I'm going to mask it off. So now I'm going to do the wave that's going to be in the background. And so I started out with some salty ocean, and then I came in, which I may not have this in the clip here, but I came in with the Little Mermaid Lagoon. Really wish I would not have done that, but I did. Anyway, so I'm putting my piece back in, and then I'm going to pull off the next layer. And this is where I'm going to make my little sandbank. And for the sandbank, I started with some antique linen, and then I moved on to some brushed corduroy. And again, there is a point while doing the brushed corduroy. I wish I would have stopped, but I didn't. But it's okay. I just kept going. So I'm just laying down that color, getting it smoothed out as best I can. And here you will see, and I'm sorry I'm off camera, but it took quite a bit to get that stuck back down. The Distress ink takes a little bit to dry, so it really did not want to stick to that wet area. So I'm going to come back in again with my, I'm going to start out with some broken china, and then I think I brought back in maybe the salty ocean or a mermaid lagoon, but in the end it turned out to be about the same color. as that wave in the back. So I'm going to get that all finished, and I'm going to remove all of my little masking pieces. And again, sorry I'm off camera. And I spritzed it with a little water, waited about 30 seconds, and blotted it off. And then I repeated the process. Just kind of give it that distress look. And then I'm going to make sure it's really dry. So I'm going to hit it with my heat tool. And then we will start the Copic coloring. So I started with a little E000 and then added a little bit of E00 and then came in with the R20 to give him some cheeks. The inside of the shell I did in E000 and then I came back in with a W1 and the outside of the shell is a W5, a W4, and a W2. And now I'm just using some various E3s and doing a little dot technique on the sandbank. And I'm using my white gel pen to draw in a few waves. And I'll come in with my Wink of Stella just to give my little clam a little bit of shine. I'm going to be using my black glaze pen just to brighten up his eyes. And here you will see I have a diagonal stripe stamp on my card base. I did not do that on camera because it was the first time I used the stamp and I wasn't sure I was going to use it. But in the end, I ended up using it anyway. So now I'm putting my little clam back in my Misty, and I'm going to stamp the sentiment. And I'm going to be using some VersaFine Onyx Black ink to do this. And I used the little grid there to help me get my words straight. And I'm going to stamp that. Love my Misty. Love it. And then I'm going to give it one more shot. I also cut out a little circle frame out of some light yellow cardstock from my stash. I'm going to use a little Tombow Monomulti to put my piece of watercolor paper down on my card base. And then I will do the same for the little yellow circle. Kind of looks like a porthole. Put a block just to give it a little bit of something something so it will stay flat and dry. And here I'm going to come in with my little yellow circle frame. And that's going to be my card for today. Thanks for joining. Hope you enjoyed it. And please be sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.